Good afternoon. A very warm welcome to the Reiki Revolution live number 45. And there are a few people online already, which is great, despite the relatively late invitation. So it's so good to be back. My apologies for not being on air for a few weeks. I've been traveling. Well, I am actually still traveling, which is one reason. The internet just wasn't stable and I didn't quite know where I would be often. And then I had a bit of a cold, so I didn't want to annoy everybody with my croaky voice. But it's now all back and on with a really important subject. So let's just have a quick look at the comments to see who is here. It's great, fabulous. Hello to London, hello to Australia at a very early time. Hello to, well, wherever you are in the world. A lot of people from America, which is great. Hello to Venetia, thank you for being here. I saw the amazing program that you are running at Alternatives in London at the moment, which is just absolutely fabulous. So it's great. It's just wonderful to be here again. And I'm sure this is now the norm that many more people watch these episodes later on in replays. So from 50 or 100, it suddenly goes up to 500 or 1,000. So they do have quite some reach. And this is really important. It's important at the times we are going through. And it's particularly important looking at the topic today. I had been planning to talk about that for some time, but now it became so pressing that I really felt there is just no way around that anymore. And we need to face it heads on, something like that. So we just need to basically understand what we are dealing with when we are dealing with AI, because the one thing everybody seems to share when it comes to AI is fear. And fear often rules our lives, which is very difficult. So we need to get around that fear and we need to understand our power and what we can do to mitigate the threat. Not necessarily all just individually, but this is why we have a community. This is why we are working together and grouping together to make the change in the world that we want to see, to become the change in the world that we want to see. Because unfortunately, the world is as it is because to a certain degree, it is a reflection of our own inner selves, even our own individual inner selves. And this is something that we can work on. Hi from California. So for those who don't know, I am in California at the moment. I am in LA. And yesterday, the Wi-Fi wasn't working. So I had arranged to see a friend and move everything over there and do the show from there. But this morning it was on again. So I just hope that it's going to be stable and that you don't have any problems following. I hope to also do something at some stage live in LA over the next few weeks. Let's just see how things develop. If you have any contacts, if you have any ideas, then please do get in touch and we can see if we can make that work. Texas is in here. Well, it's pretty hot there, isn't it? It's just crazy. So today I had the choice between sweating, which I'm doing right now, and the air conditioning, which is very noisy and rattling in the background. So I thought I'd go for the sweat rather than the noise. So this is the position at the moment. Of course, we can see already, we can see the heat wave, we can see this weather, which is pretty unprecedented. And this is obviously another challenge that we need to deal with. But today's challenge is something that really warrants looking at, focusing on for quite some time. And of course, we'll have a Reiki share later on. We'll give and receive Reiki. We hold each other. We are holding space for our development, for our healing, for peace and calm and reconnection. So today's topic is AI, artificial intelligence. And as I often do, I Googled AI in Wikipedia before I started. Somebody came up, and it's really not a criticism, but somebody came up once with this idea: if you know a topic really, really, really well, if it's your topic, check it out on Wikipedia and you will see that there are some shortcomings. So what I don't want to say is that everything we get on it is necessarily the only view that can be had, but I do think it's a very valuable resource. And it showed already the differences in the views of AI, and indeed in the way we use this term, artificial intelligence. Ultimately, artificial intelligence is nothing but huge amounts of data being processed by an incredibly fast giant computer. And this is pretty much what it is. So faster than we can process things in our brains, and therefore coming up with solutions that we may not have come up with before. There are several examples. For instance, I am using a software which even ends in not .com but .ai. And this is a, what is it? It's not a translation software. It basically translates the spoken word into written word. And it's incredibly helpful. I often walk and think. And when I walk and think, I find it difficult always getting hold of a pen and a piece of paper to jot my thoughts down. I often spend time in a bath getting inspiration. And with my wet hands and a piece of paper, that doesn't quite work. So I tend to have my phone next to me with a dictation app or whatever it's called. And I dictate things into it. It now kind of got used to my strange accent, but sometimes I have to actually listen to what I originally dictated in order to make sense of what comes out as the written version. But it is quite amazing that it works. And this wasn't really working 5-6 years ago. I tried other dictation softwares before, and it was entirely weird what came out of that. Suddenly, with AI, with huge data and very, very fast processing times, this is possible. I dictate something within 5 minutes, I wait another 2-3 minutes, and then I've got the written draft. And then I go through it again, which when I work on a book is already the first editing stage. So it's very, very useful. For me, this is a very, very good use of artificial intelligence. There are many other examples where AI is used. I mean, Google. We Google something, search engines. This is artificial intelligence. They just go in lightning speed through all the available data we put in a word, or we put even in 2 words. And then it comes up with some ideas, with websites. I mean, I don't think the Reiki Academy or the online courses would be so successful if it wasn't for search engines. So this is very modern, and I find it's very helpful. I could think of other uses of artificial intelligence. Say, and of course this is done already, say you connect the data of not 500, but 500,000 cancer patients. And you put all the data together and feed it some algorithm to come up with similarities. And suddenly we may find a common determinator that wasn't seen before. Maybe it's a lifestyle, maybe it's a certain condition that many people suffer from, maybe it is the food they take in. So that could be very, very interesting. On the other side, however, People can possibly access these data, and they can use it for other purposes. So you may volunteer in a program to research or to support further research into cancer. And you may have a condition, you may have something that you weren't maybe even aware of. And for some reason, a health insurance gets access to these files. And next time you renew your health insurance, you're being declined. So this is a danger. But that is not a danger of AI. This is simply a danger of data and data protection, and something that we need to take very, very seriously. But already some fear comes into thinking about artificial intelligence. My videographer a while ago introduced me to ChatGPT. Of course, I had no idea about that, but many people have used it already. If you haven't used it, you can download it. I think it's for free. And you put in, give me a 2-paragraph text on the connections between Reiki and houseplants. And then you click, go. And a minute or so later, you have a very well composed text on Reiki and houseplants. And if you do it again, it will be a different text. Every time it is different. And what this software does, it scans the internet for information and it puts things together. It's almost like intelligence. It's almost like thinking. And you wonder, wow, this is amazing. I may not have come up with this kind of particular connection. So that can be very interesting. But of course, it's not intelligence. It is just scanning the internet for available information. And not just the internet, but the huge data resources they have that are input in the big corporations working on providing the artificial intelligence. And this is all scanned. I was in New York City just over a week ago, and I met a professor, an American professor who works at a university in France. And we had a really, really interesting conversation. And there is this big topic about ChatGPT at the moment, because of course, students have access and can use it all the time. And he said what's interesting is the teaching language at the university is English. For the vast majority of students, this is their second language. And of course, as I'm the best example of, if you do something in a second language, it is noticeable, putting it very mildly. So people do something, it may be grammatically correct and so on, but it may just is a little bit different to what a native speaker would put together. And many of these students do struggle quite a bit with the language. So he says, as soon as they get a thesis, some kind of paper that students had to work on, and it's absolutely perfect, they know it's done by ChatGPT, and the people fail. Why do they fail? They put in a brilliant paper, but it wasn't their own. And that's a big thing about artificial intelligence, is not our own. And that's something that we need to talk about. So there are some really interesting, and I think we could go on and on and on about artificial intelligence, and there are some very, very interesting uses. But why are people so afraid of artificial intelligence? It's basically for two reasons. The first one is being replaced. If you work as an accountant and you create a phenomenal accountancy software, you are not needed anymore. In fact, a few weeks ago, I was already in spring, I was in New York, and there was an incredible exhibition at the Whitney Museum of American Art. And this was about the replacement of white collar workers. They were put in, well, it was like wax figures of white collar workers, of office workers, and they were put in bin bags. They were lying around. They were not needed anymore. So artificial intelligence applications can replace a lot of what humans do. For several months now, there's a strike going on in Hollywood, and it's a script writers' strike. They are afraid, beside the fact they're not being terribly well paid. A Hollywood star gets, I don't know, $100 million for a movie, and they get $5,000 for months of work. So that's already quite unfair. But the main reason is they are afraid of being replaced by artificial intelligence. ChatGPT, give me the next 5 episodes of Bridgerton. I want in there the Queen. Well, it's one of the few things I ever saw. This is why it comes up on television. Give me the Queen. Give me a sideline of some cute dogs playing an important role, and so on. Put all these things together, and then root everything in Regency England. Each episode, 45 minutes. And at the end, there needs to be a scene that is not finished so that people are interested in watching how that unfolds in the next episode. And then you'll get your 5 new episodes. So this is what the script writers are scared about. Now the actors, also for reasons of income, but also for reasons of potentially being replaced, have joined the strike because their images can be used and abused through artificial intelligence. They can just kind of be animated, and suddenly it's their voice and it's their image, but it's not them actually acting anymore. So there is this fear of being replaced. And of course, there is another huge danger. And this danger prompted just over a month ago, 350 top executives who have been in the field of AI for sometimes decades. The head of, I think, Google AI research and Apple and everybody, all the leading people, university lecturers, they all came together and they all had different ideas on artificial intelligence. So they only were able to find common ground on one sentence. And this sentence, I'm paraphrasing, is that politics, that the world needs to be aware and makes sure to mitigate the potential threat through artificial intelligence, which is on the level of pandemics and nuclear catastrophes. This was very, very strong. And the reason is, well, just imagine you come up with a wonderful software of how to guide a self-flying plane. I mean, we can do that already. There are these drones, and the drones are, I believe, steered from ground. I'm not so sure. I think there's somebody sitting somewhere, and then they steer the drone flying by itself. Or we sit in a car and the car drives by itself, which is not entirely allowed at the moment, but of course, this is where the technology goes. But just imagine there was a technology that would guide this drone and suddenly realizes there's something in the way and it's being observed and it changes. It changes height, it changes speed, it changes direction, and so on. So it kind of starts in very, very little time, putting lots of new data in there that may not be accessible to other people. And suddenly we have a weapon that cannot be controlled anymore from the outside. It may even decide it's much smarter to turn around and attack the base where it was sent from. So this can happen. A war based on artificial intelligence is not unthinkable, but the horrors are unimaginable. So this could happen with artificial intelligence. One might tell it to come up with some kind of chemicals to uh, whatever, fertilizers or drugs. And then they come up with something that is a completely new combination. And we have no idea what it's doing to the world, what it's happening when it's escaping the laboratory. This is happening. So this can really be quite scary. So artificial intelligence can be useful. And I was thinking about, I'm actually looking at my notes so from time to time. I was thinking whether I should actually use one example, but I feel I should. Now it's kind of, it's confession time. One of my all-time favorite music groups is ABBA. I just love ABBA. Not a very good dancer, but with ABBA, it doesn't matter. I just go up and I dance along, and it's just absolutely wonderful. I love the music. They just very, very recently came out with a new album. They are now well in their 70s, and I think they still, the sound is the same, and the voices are still there. It's absolutely. They don't, however, do any concerts anymore, and there is demand. So they came up with this idea, which you may know already, somewhere in London, near London. I think it's in the Docklands somewhere, in a theater. They created an ABBA show. And they have the whole group of ABBA on stage, but they are projected. They are holograms. So they have the old, well, not the old faces, so young faces, the faces from 30 years ago, and they sing the new songs with the voices they put in there now. So I have spoken to several people, and they all say it's spectacular. Great. Honestly, I'm so sorry. And we are now getting maybe into a discourse of art, but do you want to bloody watch holograms? Is that the future of culture? Is that the future of creativity? To project something on stage and not have real people anymore? Okay, I leave it to everybody to decide. From the way I say it, you probably see that I have made up my mind. I think it's ridiculous. And even worse than that, this is not human. It's entirely artificial. So now we need to see where Reiki comes in. When we use Reiki, we become entirely human. We reconnect to our potential. But what is it that makes us human? What is being human? And I think this is something that we can experience through Reiki. First of all, we stay in our body. We have pain, we give it a Reiki, and we feel something. We feel our body. So this is our bodily experience, and Reiki can help with that. We get intuition. We suddenly look at something from a different perspective. Artificial intelligence gets data. We have intuition. And we can analyze a situation. We can look at a problem and we can intellectually process it. Or we look at the problem from our heart. And we feel a connection. We understand the person. We see the story behind. We understand the experience. We have emotions. And this is something that is not replaceable because we are a spirit in a body. And the spirit is eternal. We reincarnate. And that is the final step that is definitely not possible to match by artificial intelligence, even if we've got stupid robots running around and doing everyday tasks. But they are not going back to the spirit world and come back with the experience, with the baggage, with the karma, with the information, with being rooted in the spirit world. They don't have a soul family. This is being human. So we are a spirit. Why did we come here in the first place? To experience, to learn, to explore the boundaries of a physical existence and make the most of it. So if all that is replaced by robots and artificial intelligence, what is left of being human? In fact, what is the sense? What is the why do we incarnate at all? And this is very simple, the question we need to answer. We need to answer individually and then set the boundaries of how we individually want to use artificial intelligence. And this is what we need to do collectively as society to decide what is right, what is wrong. Of course, we can replace all the accountants. Okay, what do the accountants do with their spare time? Paint, go for long walks, sleep, probably and then take an overdose because there's no meaning in life anymore. And this is what we need to understand. The meaning comes from experience. And artificial intelligence sometimes can enhance, but often replace the experience. So it is a very, very simple task that we have. We collectively, as humans, as those humans being incarnated at this very time in history, need to find an answer to what does being human mean? What is humanity? And once we've experienced and found that for ourselves, then we can vote, we can act, we can demonstrate, we can do all sorts of things to make sure that artificial intelligence is used in a way that is supportive. And there are many ways. Of course, there is a development in world history, and we are using cars, and we are using planes, and we are using computers. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to my rant the whole time. So this is all great. But we also need to see, what do we really want with our lives? Isn't that incredible to create something? Whether it's gardening and then something may grow eventually, whether it's cooking and we decide we put a new ingredient in there, whether it's having a conversation and just being completely connected in that conversation. So there is a lot that we need to stand up for. And we can only stand up for it once we realize who we really are. And this is something I would like to do together for a moment, just to realize who we really are. So I would like to ask you to just place your hands together for a moment and connect to Reiki. And then just place your hands on your body for a moment. Give yourself Reiki. Fill your entire body with Reiki and feel your body. If your feet are on the floor, just feel your feet on the floor and feel the connection with the solidity, with the earth, no matter where you are. You can go through all the stories of the building and feel your connection with the earth. So we are physical humans, and we can connect with it. And now bring your awareness to your third eye, the point between your eyebrows, the point of intuition and creativity. And go further up and bring your awareness to your crown chakra and just feel through both chakras your connection with the universe. The magnificence of being connected, being guided, being part of a bigger picture. And then bring your awareness to your heart. Feel your heart. Feel the love in your heart. And then from your heart, feel the connection with everybody to start with on this YouTube show, with everybody around you. Feel the connection with the neighborhood. And now sense how you feel. Completely human, completely spirit at the same time. And completely love. And then you can bring your hands just together for a moment and thank Reiki and slowly come into the here and now. All this is food for thought. I haven't got complete answers as to how to deal with artificial intelligence. But once we do that, once we find our way of dealing with it, from the point of what being human really means, I feel we have the tools to rein this in and to create a better future. In fact, to save the future. I mean, if every single important person in the artificial intelligence world signs this statement that the dangers are alongside pandemics and nuclear catastrophes, then this really is quite something. And that doesn't mean that the other dangers are mitigated. They are still there, including the climate catastrophe. There is just so much going on in the world. There's so much going on that we created. At least we let it happen. And much of that is rooted in fear. So when we find this inner peace and alignment again, and we step out of fear into love and connection and guidance, we can deal with all these things. And just one more thing I have therefore added to my newsletter already, and I'm just about to make a new video in a few minutes, and that's going to be on the Reiki Revolution website then in due course, announcing that the whole of the month of August is going to be the month of reconnecting with our humanity and reconnecting with being spirit. In fact, aligning with the universe. It's the Reiki Challenge program that I've now been running for a few years. And not only that, that really is the basis of the entire idea of the Reiki revolution, of changing ourselves and step by step by projecting these changes, by radiating, by oozing the love and light that we can hold within, that we can make the world a better place. It is the idea of my last book. And the program is pretty much there. But this time I had this very clear guidance to add something, and that is an attunement. An attunement that allows us to align more with the universe on all levels, to become, well, to step into the full potential of being human, in other words, of an incarnated spiritual being that is still connected, and to live out of this connection every day. So the whole month is going to be a journey of rediscovery, of alignment, going into the past. There will even be a past life regression as part of that, and then having lots of exercises, old exercises, new exercises, lots more information, weekly group coachings. And I really feel that this can be a start to something bigger, something better, an inner place where we can deal with challenges, including artificial intelligence. And this is what I wanted to share today. And I'm just going to see if there is any comments, or is any information that we are looking at. I'm just going to wait a few more moments to see if there's something else going on. I will now be, given that the Wi-Fi is back and stable, I'll now be live online again every Tuesday. And I really, really look forward to the Reiki Revolution 2.0, going deeper and creating this world where we really want to live in. Creating it for ourselves, creating it for everybody else, creating it for our next incarnation. So this is the idea. This is the power that we have as human beings, and that's the idea behind the Reiki Revolution. Yes, I think there's not that much coming. So everybody is probably just sitting there thinking, okay, that was a lot. And it is a lot. It's an awful lot. It's just so overwhelming. But we need to be aware. Awareness is the first step to change. And we can change. We have the power. We can change ourselves, and we can make changes. And this is magnificent. We are just absolutely incredible beings. And that doesn't mean that we can do everything by ourselves. We need help. We need healing. We need calming down. We need to reduce our stress levels. We found our balance again. And this is what we're going to do now in Reiki Share, where everybody can participate. And I'm just looking at one question here. What day are the weekly calls? The weekly calls are going to be on Wednesdays at either 7 or 8 in the evening UK time. So that is 11 or 12 in the morning Pacific time in America, and everything in between. But everything will be formatted in a way that you benefit just as much from it if you look at the replays. So you don't have to be there live. And yes, so that's where we are at the moment. So Tuesdays, the shows are going on. Wednesdays for the month of August will be the weekly group coachings for the Reiki Challenge, Align with the Universe. And there will be much more information out on the website in a moment. If you already feel drawn to it, it's, let me just see if I can find that. It is the reikirevolution.com. No, that's my website. That's not the correct one. Let me just see. It's not on there. That's typical. So I'm going to just put that in there. There we go, the reikirevolution.com. And it's a very small menu there. So on the right-hand side, it says August Reiki Challenge. And there you can find more information. But as I say, There will be a little video explaining more about it in a moment. As soon as we have wrapped up our Reiki share in this show, I will go online again and I will film this video. And let's now start with just sharing Reiki, connecting, feeling the energy. So when you're ready, just take a moment to close your eyes, place your hands together, and connect to Reiki. And first of all, start becoming aware of your own personal connection, your connection to Reiki, your connection to the universe. Just feel it in your body, in your mind. And of course, every time we connect to Reiki and share it, we still get Reiki ourselves as well. And then just open your hands, just pointing them into the imaginary direction of everybody who is on this Reiki share right now and at a later stage. And set your intention to connect with them so that Reiki may help them, support them, heal them. If you've done Reiki 2, you can utilize the connection symbol to deepen this connection. And now just become aware, remind yourself that you are receiving Reiki not just directly, but through everybody on this Reiki share as well. If there is something you struggle with at the moment, whether it's your health, whether it is some emotional upheaval, no matter what it is, even the finances, just ask Reiki to work on it, to help you, to support you, to heal the situation. Just really relax, lean back, let Reiki do the work within you and through you. Just let go. And if you feel you want to take a deep breath, then just breathe out and let go, let go, let go. Let Reiki to help you let go. And just follow your intuition. There's nothing you need to do. Just allow Reiki to work. Just be open and just enjoy the connection, the healing, the love. And then you can slowly come back into the here and now. Just take a moment to bring your hands together once more and thank Reiki in the knowledge that it will continue to work. And then when you're ready, just open your eyes again and come back into the here and now. And a little farewell until next week. I am rushing to the rattling air conditioning unit now and going to switch it back on because this has really transformed into some kind of sauna in between. But yes, so these are also some little challenges. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being here. Thank you for creating this community. And thank you for allowing this work so that we all together become these kind of beacons of peace and light that we are meant to be wherever we are, wherever we live, wherever we work. So once more, thank you very much for joining. Next week is going to be interesting. I was just told that the topic is supposed to be boundaries. And there will, I'm sure, be lots of anecdotes from my past few weeks here and the just fascinating experiences I have had. But anyway, I'm not saying anything. We will also look at boundaries in a much bigger um, perspective, allowing ourselves to have boundaries and to defend them, but also accepting that other people have boundaries and how to allow the boundaries not to clash, but to connect. This is the topic of next week. Same time, same space, online, internet. So thank you very, very much for being here today. And in the meantime, I will send, well, certainly a few more reminders about the program, which starts in August. I'm thinking it's going to be absolutely spectacular. I have been told it's going to be really, really powerful. So I think this will be an incredible journey that we can take together. So once more, thank you so much for joining. And I just need to find the right button, which is just here, and then see you next week.